I keep hearing this all the time. Oh, well, Jalen Hurts is on his 10th, 11th play caller in a row. Yet nobody talks about Nick Sirianni being a big part of the reason for that. He is the reason why there is no consistency. He is the reason why they keep having to go through offensive coordinators, because he is not doing what he was brought there to do. Drew Brees called the Philadelphia Eagles offense boring on First Take. I have a question for people. Is water wet? Do you guys watch the Eagles offense? That is one of the most boring offenses in football. Drew Brees was not lying when he said that. And I'm going to be honest with you. The main person that I look at and I say is the reason for this is Nick Sirianni. Right? People are going to say, oh, Kevin Patullo. Yeah, keep blaming offensive coordinators and not look at the offensive-minded head coach who isn't calling plays. This is a Nick Sirianni thing. The lack of consistency with the Eagles' offensive play calling is because of Nick Sirianni. He can't call plays, and because he can't call plays, he has to bring people in to call plays for him. Here's the thing. Yes, the Eagles were able to find Kellen Moore, who is a solid play caller last year. Not every offseason are there going to be offensive coordinators that are worth a damn that are available. So the whole notion that you can't hire from within, a lot of times that's what you have to do, because you're either hiring from within or you're hiring somebody that has either proven that they're not that good of as an offensive coordinator, or you're hiring from somebody else's coaching tree. Like, yeah, you're going to hire from within because you know these guys. But again, this is a Nick Sirianni problem. And if you ask Howie Roseman, what was the intentions for Nick Sirianni when he came in to be the head coach? It's that he wanted consistency between the quarterback and the head coach. And right now, the Eagles don't have that consistency over a stretch of time because their head coach cannot call plays. That's the reality of the situation. Don't get mad at me for pointing out the reality. Get mad at the people who deserve to be blamed for it. Like, I don't think Nick Sirianni is this coach that you just can't move on from. Philadelphia won a Super Bowl with Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson had a backup quarterback that he won a Super Bowl with. And they fired him, 2 years after they won a Super Bowl? I mean, I get it. The Eagles are winning right now. So the notion of moving on from Nick Sirianni isn't something that I think that they should be discussing. I get that. But if in a year or two from now, they keep having these offensive problems and it starts to look a certain type of way, if I'm the Eagles, I'm like, hey, look, we'll give you a promotion to a front office job. We'll do something to make it worth your time, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did with Bruce Arians, right? Because you're not going to get the consistency that you want from Jalen Hurts. I keep hearing this all the time. Oh, well, Jalen Hurts is on his 10th, 11th play caller in a row. Yet nobody talks about Nick Sirianni being a big part of the reason for that. He is the reason why there is no consistency. He is the reason why they keep having to go through offensive coordinators, because he is not doing what he was brought there to do, which was be the offensive play caller. So I know Eagles media members, I know Eagles fans don't want to say that because Nick Sirianni won a Super Bowl. We should look past everything that he's ever done. But I'm going to be honest with you. All right, let's be honest about Nick Sirianni. Are you really trying to tell me that there isn't 20 to 30 coaches that could win with the roster that they have? Because I believe that there's about 20 to 30 coaches. And that's not even just head coaches. That's meaning offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators that you could find that could be head coaches. There's plenty of head coaches out there that you could find. But the Eagles, and there was a comment, somebody said that I never give the Eagles any credit. It's just a flat out lie. I always refer to them when I talk about good team building. But the Eagles, they're a player-led leadership structure. That's their deal. Their deal is that they have really strong leaders in that locker room and they set the culture, not the head coach. You think Nick Sirianni is the one driving the culture in Philadelphia? I don't believe that at all. And to give Jalen Hurts credit, he's the driving force of that culture. Lane Johnson is a driving force of that culture. Like Jordan Mailata, driving force of that culture. Landon Dickerson, driving force of that culture. And they're going to have some guys here on defense like Reed Blankenship, Saquon, even though Saquon plays on offense, but I forgot to mention him. Cooper DeJean. Like these guys are strong leaders. They can have a player-led leadership structure. And I know I'm not calling for Nick Sirianni's job. I'm really not. But what I'm saying is in the next few years, if they keep having these problems offensively and they're not getting to where they need to be, you need to have the conversation of, why is this guy our head coach? Why do we hire him? He's an offensive-minded guy who doesn't call plays, and our quarterback is not benefiting from that at all. And when these contracts start to catch up with the Eagles and they have to start paying the piper and they have to start dealing with less talented rosters, they're not going to be able to hide behind the fact that Howie Roseman is able to build one of the greatest teams that the league has ever seen. He's not going to be, Nick Sirianni is not going to be able to hide behind the fact that Howie Roseman can bring in free agents at the clip that he's able to bring in free agents. Because these contracts are going to catch up with them. They're going to have to pay Jalen Carter. They're going to have to pay Quinyon Mitchell. They're going to have to pay Cooper DeJean. They're going to have to pay a lot of guys on this team. It's going to catch up with them. They're going to have to deal with the fact that they're probably going to have to be a top-heavy roster for a good part of the next 5 years. That's just what it is. So, again, I don't want people thinking that I'm calling for Nick Sirianni's job. That would be completely and utterly reckless for me to do. But I'm just saying the reason why there hasn't been consistency with the play calling is because of the head coach. And I don't know why nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. And again, I don't think Nick Sirianni's a bad head coach. I think there's some things that he does well, but I'm just saying, let's be honest here.